saker, du har en liten databas och lite så här.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this part 3 of the AI festival we're doing. And now it's time for our panel discussion on does creativity matter in this age of AI? And this is going to be followed afterwards by a music tech quiz brought to you by Faux Cafe's Michael. So we're going to get started now, and I just want to say thanks for supporting for today, and yes, thanks to 46 Elks, Faux Cafe, and the Linköping Science Park for helping with this, and Go to 10, of course. So welcome, everyone. How are we doing?
Just fine, thank you.
Good. Great. So I've introduced myself. My name is Aaron. I work for Faux Cafe, and I would like to get to know everyone here, and also for our audience online. Hello. So would you like, I'll just do around the table, and I want you to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and also why this topic is interesting to you, and what does creativity mean to you on a personal level.
Awesome. So, well, my name is Björn Skyttberg. I'm a startup evangelist at 46 Elks, and creativity is, I would say it starts in the morning, and then it loops back to morning again. Cause throughout the day, creativity is quite important, and then throughout the night, it's kind of what you. Yeah, good old days with radio frequencies. It's all over that place, creativity. And as a position as a startup and evangelist, a startup is based around creativity, and the most fun part of my job is to help our startups evolve around how they can use SMS or phone calls to evolve their business.
Great. Thank you, Björn. Welcome. And next.
Yeah, my name is Michael Tiberg. I started the Faux Cafe like 13 years ago, and Faux Cafe is not a cafe. It's a space for people to meet and hang out, for sharing knowledge and learn from each other. So we are focused on tech events, so for software developers mostly, or people within software development industry. And of course, and we are following the trends. If there is a programming language, or nowadays there are loads of AI events, of course. Yeah, how to use AI mostly. Not so much in creation of AI, but yeah.
And what does creativity mean to you on a personal level?
That's life. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we can't stand still. We need to move forward, and you use your imagination to do that, and so let's call that creativity. Yeah, I think that's is something with the built into everyone more or less, that we are creative beings because we do things and we try new things and we are exploring life. So in different aspects. So yeah.
Great. Thank you. And next.
Yeah, hi. My name is Karol Wojtulewicz, and I'm a PhD student at Linköping's University. I actually study in AI. And what is creativity for me on a personal level? It's work, basically. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what's expected of me on a daily, pretty much. But in the bigger picture, creativity, I think, is connection between seemingly unrelated things that creates new information, essentially. And it doesn't have to be novel. Creativity doesn't have to be novel. You can be creative without creating anything new. So I think it's important to make this distinction. And that's something that you're very much reminded of almost every day in academia. But it could also be harmful. So I think there are two sides of creativity to me.
Great. So, and this is a topic, you know, that I'm very much interested in. So for me, I am interested to hear like the different perspectives and attitudes towards it. And already I can hear a lot of stuff that resonate as well. And as this, you know, topic is very much about that, and we're thinking about AI and how AI is used in this creative process. And you're all coming from different areas and different fields, which is also interesting. So I'm thinking, like in your specific fields, when it comes to AI and creativity, what do you think are the things that are getting lost, or things that are maybe it's more gain? And what is your opinion on that? And I open it up to anybody who wants to take it.
Yeah, of course, we will be much more efficient with AI. You need to have your domain knowledge, but if you have your domain knowledge, and in that case, you will be 10 times or 20 times more efficient through AI, to use AI in your daily work.
I would say it's that, but also AI could really lure you into doing stuff that you have no clue about. And that is like, we meet a lot of customers.
That's a bad thing?
And that's quite a bad thing. You'll spend hours and hours and hours in doing stuff that you are way underqualified to do and have no clue what you learned into. And all of a sudden, someone has spent both money and time on trying to solve a problem that they don't know is a problem from the beginning. I meet a lot of users from our side who try to use our services both in a bad way, a fraudulent way, using AI, or just trying to use SMS or phone services without knowing enough to start off with it. So they spent hours trying to get it running, and they get extremely frustrated when they realize that they don't know what a PBS is, or PBX.
Yeah, I think well, what we mean by AI in this context, I guess it's large language models or agentic use, etc. I think if you know what you're doing, it could be a great tool. If you don't, it's gonna fast forward you to failure for sure. And I've tried this. I tried just prompting. It works for long enough for you to think that you can do anything with it, but then there's gonna be a moment at which you're gonna realize that, oh shit.
Isn't that a good thing to fail fast? I mean, when you talk about when you're doing startups, you should, when you fail fast, it's a good thing, because you need to realize that
I
Yeah,
think it's
in a
more like you're reading the last chapter of the book and doesn't understand the book. You're failing based of knowledge that you didn't have. So instead of like, if you're gonna succeed with something, you might need to start with the small bits. But with AI, it's happened that you start with the big bits and trying to force these big bits together, and then realize I can't do it. So what are you gonna do? You just I failed this, and I jump on to the next thing instead of like taking a few steps back and starting with the basics.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Or you think it's the same thing as everything that's on TikTok is the truth?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. I heard so.
Yeah.
So I'm getting sort of like mixed kind of like thing. So it's kind of like going against the argument where obviously like, you know, AI speeds everything up, and now you're, from what I'm hearing, it's like actually it's not so much the case. It's actually putting you back, and you're doing things that perhaps it's you're not qualified, I guess, to do. Or but then again, but this is all part of being like the curiosity when it comes to like trying to get, you know, creative and using maybe AI to do these things that you would never have dreamed of doing, maybe. Or
I mean, AI is fantastic, or LLMs. You mostly go with LLMs, but I think we always talk about the positive sides of using large language models, and we rarely remembers all the time is spent actually doing nothing. I would say I spent hours and hours actually producing nothing with AI.
Yeah, you kind of double down at some point, like, okay, now I have spent like 3 hours like doing something, so let's hope that this next prompt is gonna work, and then it doesn't.
It should be a T-shirt. I hope the next prompt will work.
You give me too many ideas.
Yeah. We should ask AI how to do the T-shirt.
But I think we missed the point. I mean, what do we define as creativity in this point? Because what we're actually talking about right now is the information retrieval, and sort of information augmentation as well to some degree. So instead of you going on the website and looking for something, kind of like putting it all together in your head, you ask AI to do it for you. You're gonna remember less. Sure, you're gonna get maybe more insights, but then you're also gonna question, is this actually correct? So we also have this problem with alignment, right? That is being talked about. And
So
it's not...
So we're getting stupider. So
Yeah, sure. But the question is like, do we trust enough AI to make decisions for us, for example?
My experience is, if I know something a tad and I just fact check it with AI, I trust it.
Yeah.
But if I don't remember it correctly, or if I don't feel confident about it, I'm getting a bit unsure actually about what AI talks about. Before this talk, I was when I started to become a teacher, there's a big Russian guy, Vygotsky, who did a few quite kind of cool scientist studies regarding just creativity, and that creativity study was about Russian children in the countryside that couldn't read or write, but could they produce creative stories? And the idea before him was that they couldn't, because you need to be able to read and write to produce stories. But what he did was to put them together with someone who was able to write, and they could create similar stories to children who had the knowledge to read and write. So in these studies is that creativity isn't it's inside of us, kind of, from Vygotski's perspective. So I tried to ask AI, ChatGPT, about his studies, and ChatGPT gave me so many results regarding studies he have made that I felt very uncomfortable. So yeah, I asked first, like, what is the Russian guy's name who did this kind of studies? And I was felt sure that it's I forgot the name.
Okay.
Libotsky. Sorry.
That's okay.
What do
Anyway,
you,
yeah.
what do you think about Russia? No. No, but back to the question regarding the creativity. It's kind of interesting, the perspective. What is creativity?
Yeah.
So what is it?
What is creativity? Well, for me, I think creativity is almost a bit, in a way, of kind of like a spiritual thing as well, like where you're tapping into something, and it's kind of like you're taking a lot of ideas and a lot of like things out there, and creating something new or different, or just doing something in a unique way. I mean, I've been very interested in the topic of creativity, so it was kind of fun to be able to do this panel, because I've never done a panel before, but so it was fun to kind of do that. But yeah, I mean, creativity, I think, is a lot of it is to do with like people you're working with as well, because like working with different people, like the creative energy is always different. And I think if you're thinking of creativity and kind of like the arts, kind of music stuff, but really creativity is anything, is anything you do in your work, or whether it's in your hobbies, personal life. It's everything is this essence of creativity. It's very, very hard to actually bottle down and distill exactly what it is. But I'm reminded, of this. I think it was an interview series. I think it was with like Robert Rodriguez, this director. He did a series, talking about creativity, and like everybody has their own kind of paraphrasing way of saying. And I think they give like an example. Like one is from the Stones guitarist Keith Richards. He's like always he has a saying that says like, oh, I don't really come up with these guitar riffs. They're just all up in the air, and I can kind of like just take and pick and stuff and combine things in that way. So that's what creativity is to me.
Oh, so are you asking this question about creativity? Is it because that you don't think AI has any creativity, or?
Well, that's a great question.
I think so what's the difference between innovation and creativity then?
Yeah, but to be able to invent something, you have to be creative.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that's the connection, and that's the difference.
Creativity is connecting different concepts together.
But you don't. I mean, you could be creative and invent jack shit. But of course, but you could be creative and actually invent something as well. It doesn't have to lead to a invention.
No. So yeah. So creativity is a puzzle. Is a piece of the puzzle for innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, yeah.
And also another ingredients which is also very, very important, and that's sweat.
Yeah.
Sweat.
Blood.
Sweat. Blood.
Yeah.
Tears.
Tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yep.
Yeah. So you need four parts for innovation. Yeah, it's sweat, blood, tears, and creativity.
Yep.
In that order.
Pretty much.
And that's come back to your question of why I'm having this discussion about creativity and whether I think AI is good for that or not. But I think, based on a lot of things, I do think it is very, very useful in the creative process. But the blood, sweat, and tears part, I'm curious about that, just how that plays a part in the process, if you know what I mean. Like I like this idea, like this concept, they talk about, the concept of serendipity, where all these chance occurs, you're trying different things and like multiple things, and through a lot of like trial and error, blood, sweat, and tears. And my question, I was wondering, does AI kind of like hinder that process of serendipity, which is very important, I believe, in the creative process, or can it be? Question is, can it actually be, I don't know, engineered, created, or in a way to do it? And I don't know the answer to that.
I don't think AI has any creativity. It just takes things that already exist.
But I think there's important distinction to be made. When we talk about creativity, I think a lot of us talk about novelty, and there is a difference, because I mean, like you said yourself, you need to be creative to come up with something new. So to me, creativity, well, I see this as a tree of, or maybe a graph even, of possibilities that you discover. So you don't come up with something, you just discover different possibilities. A lot of these possibilities are going to be already existing ideas, something that someone has come up with, but some of them are going to be new ideas. Now the question is it new, and is it actually useful, or is it just new? Something that nobody else has thought about. So I think AI is creative in a way that it can put together information that already exists into a very digestible content. But the novelty aspect, well, this is something that you need to sort of figure out yourself and put it into a space where you operate. Is this novel for this space, like in industry or academia, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where this sweat and tears come in, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, like the novelty aspect of it, because that's also a very part of, like, you know, that process as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things, and I think we can talk so much about that. But my next question as part of this was about, you know, as all these kind of tools and AI is becoming more and more sophisticated and, you know, mimicking, you know, like self-expression. Like, for example, you know, earlier we had, you know, these music sessions, you know, and with Oscar and Alfred, and that kind of like it challenged. I think it changed my perception a little bit, because I could see just like how much of you know, the creative process was in what they were doing, and it kind of like got me quite excited. I was like, I wanted to know what you're doing, you know, and it's like, I want to find out about this, and it's getting me curious, you know, and definitely a lot of novelty as well. So the question is, like, as they become more sophisticated, how do you kind of keep that human spark alive alongside the AI models?
I think they showed us earlier that you need to have some creativity to be able to use the tools in the right way, so you actually get something out of it. And it's always with all tools you have. It doesn't really matter if it's a screwdriver or if it's a fancy AI model. You need to know how to use it to be able to actually get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I would more compare it to a hammer, but
Yeah.
screwdriver works.
Yep.
It's really a tool that difference between the user of it. And here's we come back to, if you have deep knowledge of what you're doing, AI could really help you out.
Right.
But if you as a not a music artist starts to create music without knowing the words to use while creating music, it's gonna be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna sound shit.
Or just like dance band,
Yeah,
pretty much.
it's nothing wrong with the dance
What's
band.
wrong with that?
But yeah, it's
Because that's not a creative music. They just copy some songs. So that's pretty much, and that's AI
really
brilliant.
good at. Yeah.
really good at.
So what you are saying is that all dance bands music in Sweden is just bad AI.
Yeah, pretty much.
How about if you used AI, you know, and mix some AI dance band.
Yeah, I mean,
Next level.
you're dancing to the rhythm, not
Yeah.
to the text.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully, yeah.
hopefully, yeah. And to be frank, dance band's music sometimes has really, really, really awful lyrics from the beginning.
Lucky me, because I never listened to the lyrics on songs.
No, you don't.
But I still don't like it.
No, I don't like the form of music of dance band, but I've been on dance courses, and when I started to listen to what they are singing about, it's awful. So yeah, it could help
So
out.
I think going back to this, we're using AI because we have knowledge in our field that we are working in. So based on that domain knowledge, we are able to use it in the right way. Question is that kids that grows up now, like 10, 15 years old, and they are using AI, and will they learn some trade, a domain knowledge, to have a good base to stand on, to be able to use AI in an efficient way?
Yeah.
Or will they just like, I remember we just when the calculators came, when I went to school, we were not allowed to use a calculator. We had to use
Stones.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm old, so
Yeah.
yeah. So we had to calculate everything on a piece of paper. So but over the years, people has become really bad in doing math, just simple math.
Calculus in your head, yeah.
Yeah.
So the question you're asking is
So
do we need to be able to calculate in our heads?
I mean, yeah, it's
Or is it the novelty of the elders?
no. The thing is that you. I mean, if you're able to calculate things in your head, in that case, it's you could judge if something is totally wrong or it seems to be right. So you could take that decisions in a second, if you do the math.
Yeah.
If you can't do the math, in that case, you could get easily fooled.
Yeah. So is the biggest problem that you easily get fooled, or is it a bigger problem that people think Greenland is a huge country?
I don't know.
I mean,
So I mean,
so the question is, if when you grew up, which is were good time, you learned to do calculus, you have good handwriting skills,
Yeah.
and so on. If the power goes out, your life could go on. And my generation, I think we're quite similar. We might not have the best handwriting skills, and our calculus is in our pocket, and so on. But we might have learned other stuff.
Yeah.
So the big question is, living the life you're living today, which knowledge base is better? Is it the
No,
calculus?
I'm taking this as an example.
Yeah.
And of course, we are not talking about calculators now. We are
No.
talking about AI models. So, and you think that the same pattern that happens with the calculator, if you put that pattern, which I was trying to explain, and put that into how we use AI and how that will affect people in 10 years' time or 20 years' time. So how would that, and I don't know, I think it's just a big paradigm shift. We are in the middle of it. I think this paradigm shift is bigger than internet.
Yeah.
That's what I believe, because it will change so much.
Yeah, you might say that it's bigger than the internet, but I think at the moment when the internet came online, people said the same thing about, I don't know, a calculator, for example.
Oh,
and when the calculator came out, it was the same story. So I mean, we're developing exponentially, right? That's the entire idea. And I think it's kind of up to us, or it is up to us, how the future is going to look like.
Mhm.
Because in the end, we make these tools for humans, and well, we are the ones living here. And when it comes to kids, I mean, it's just a part of adaptation. I mean, like you said, you knew how to count in your head. I still know how to count in my head, so I guess it doesn't go for everyone.
I
But you
would
just
say our generation knows how to count in the head, but I think if we take the millennials, we should really start asking questions about math.
you mean Gen Z, I guess.
Gen Z,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, yeah, Gen Zs. Yeah,
I think this is a little bit over-exaggerated, honestly.
yeah.
My brother is a Gen Z, and I see him study quite a lot, and I think it's just a tool in the end, information retrieval tool, basically. I think it should definitely be handled with care, but I don't see this being more groundbreaking than the internet. I think internet, frankly, was more groundbreaking because it actually connected people. With AI, we have a lot of fluff, we have a lot of misinformation, we have a lot of fake news. Now these things are significantly easier to create than it was ever before. So I think with internet was less, we saw less negative sides than we see with AI.
Yeah, and regarding creativity and internet, we have this new old lawsuit against Flashback in Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard it yesterday.
Yeah, it started yesterday. It's regarding information spreading, and if you take, it's a bit about creativity. Flashback created this page for everyone to share their own knowledge and thoughts on, and what happened is people sharing very, very harsh stuff. I would say it could be comparable to what AI have taught our kids sometimes as well, how to kill yourself or all the bad stuff. The big difference here is that AI is kind of like getting away with it.
Yeah.
Flashback is in courtrooms.
Yeah, and I think it's because a lot of the stuff we talked about comes back to like one of this previous questions we had about what is the things that are being lost or gained, and I guess does it matter in a sense, and I can there's different kind of like perspectives on that, and also yes, touching upon like the future generations as well. One of the questions we had was if is there a concern for future generations, like their first brush with creativity is with AI and not the kind of like traditional kind of like way of trying to exercise creativity. Is that something that's going to be lost in years to come, do you think?
No, I don't think so. But I don't. The danger is that we are using the AI so much that we might think that right, in that case I don't have to think. I mean, this machine will give me all the answers. That's a danger path, I think, because we need to be criticism against everything, including a AI model. Just like we are questioning our friends when we have a discussion. So that's the same thing. We need to do that and not trust everything what it says. It's just like, as my example is, everything on TikTok is the truth. I mean, no, it's not. So
sure about that?
yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, so you can't trust everything. You have to verify. And the question is, all right, how to verify this information?
Yeah, and I think it's like Bjorn had said that you're more trusting when it comes to when it reflects like your own kind of knowledge and skills, but then it's kind of detrimental to when it's something you're unsure, which kind of creates a kind of circle of doubt and distrust, and I don't know.
It could be true, but it might not be true. I think it takes lots of time to do that. If I compare it to textbook, if I read a textbook, I'm kind of sure this is true.
Doesn't have to be. true, just because it's in the textbook.
It doesn't have to be true, no.
No.
But I know the source. With AI, I have no clue what the
Right.
source
And
is.
that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I read a book, I know the author, I know the publisher.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sure this is like studentlitteratur. They don't
Yeah.
publish.
Yeah, if you don't like it, you can just sue them or something, right? You cannot really sue AI.
This is
No,
this is not America.
it's not American. No,
But that's the same when it comes to.
you can burn it though.
People will say the same thing as like for websites as well, especially with going to like the internet and like all the information and like different sources, people are a bit more like dubious and skeptical when it comes to that, because but then again they have some sources that they trust. I don't know, like, but when it's just one model, how do you know? It's like
But it also helps. I mean, I had this idea. I want to create a T-shirt like yesterday, and I had a grasp idea of what I wanted to create, and so I was chatting with ChatGPT about it, and we came to a conclusion like the T-shirt should be in this kind of way. So I drew it up in Illustrator, which I'm kind of good at, and I asked ChatGPT to make a draft for me. And here's where my concerns lays, is that I think my creation was much better, and that ChatGPT's were okay at least.
Okay.
Maybe good. And my fear is that people will start using ChatGPT's solution rather than do it good themselves, and that's lowering the standard of what we could do. We are like, we are okay with good enough when excellent is possible.
But there are
Interest-
specific LLMs for graphic design. So
Yeah.
And ChatGPT might
Is-
not be the best.
No, definitely not.
Mm.
I have not found one yet that is great with vectors.
Yep.
No.
But still you don't have the confidence really in that to do something that yourself could do, or like a very talented graphic designer in a sense, or
I have not found an
Yeah.
AI being better than a talented graphic designer
Yeah.
yet,
okay.
nor better than a good copywriter.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a very good tool for a good copywriter, but
Mm.
I still understand that I'm not a really good copywriter.
Yeah. And do you think?
Oh,
but
you
the-
just buy it on Fiverr for $5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm also thinking another thought is about if as they become better, do you think over time these kind of areas get devalued when everybody is settling for maybe good enough, as you say, or pretty good using AI models, and will it kind of have a negative kind of effect on those kind of sectors, and also a cultural kind of problem as well, like the devaluing of art and any works?
Software as a service will be devalued, I think. SaaS companies will have a hard time. And I heard that a few consultants also expressed concerns, because what have took them 3 hours a couple of years ago might take them 15 minutes now. So where are their value? Could they charge 3 hours of work for 15 minutes? Or how should they, if I hire a software engineer, I would like to pay for the hour, or should I pay for the product? And that's could be tricky now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it also relates a little bit what you charge for, as you said, because if you're gonna charge for the amount of code being created, well, AI is perfect at that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually having a working product, well, sometimes one line of code, changing that one line of code can make all of the difference. And this is the majority of frustration that's coming from in my case. I ask about a very simple thing, and it just generates me files and files that still don't fix the bug. So I think it depends on like what you charge for, and of course, like with every revolution, you're gonna have some losers, of course. But I think these people that have lost on this, they're gonna gain in other ways as well. I mean, writing code. When I think about myself writing code, I don't actually want to write code like that much. And this is why I purchased a month ago the max subscription of Cloud Code, hoping for it to replace me, but it didn't. So I think that there's going to be quite a lot of value lying in just the validation of the work. The speed is definitely going to be increased. I think the amount of errors is going to also increase at the same rate. But for majority of people are going to be fine. That's what I think.
Yeah. And we had the workshop today. Quite interesting. Using AI and hardware and let kind of total beginners build sensors that sends text messages with the sensor data. It's quite cool to see how they, within kind of a small time frame, be able to learn how to solder and program a microcontroller to do stuff that wouldn't have been able really 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That workshop would have been a hassle to.
And this is a good example of also the creative process, because that's essentially you're facilitating this creative process, and you are using AI also, and it's being used to kind of be part of that. You know?
Yeah, we totally changed the workshop from having a written workshop to just delete the written workshop. It's extremely useless to have a written workshop for what we did. It's more like, here's a microcontroller and take whatever sensor you want to it, and I'll help you solder it together, and then AI will help you write the code. And then sometimes AI mess up and you will be there and help it out, and it can take hours to solve it.
Okay, yeah. So, and this brings me to a question also, and I think this might be the last question before we have some questions from the audience. But the question was your thoughts on whether AI, you know, in this process can be a true creative co-pilot, collaborator, or is it just reflecting kind of like stuff that we already know, or it's is it how useful it really can be in the process based on everything we've heard and discussed?
So right now, it's you could use it as an assistant, so a collaborator, because you are the driver in this process. But use a person or use AI for to do simple tasks. Absolutely. Which will make your job much easier to do. Yeah. Answering simple, stupid emails, that's all right. Yeah, we have the same answer on all the emails, so just be polite and send it off.
Send it off, change it a bit, yeah.
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 Or there are loads of things, or making a analyze of the market, for instance. Yeah, we would like to look at this market, and all right. So how does it look like? Who are the competitors, etc., etc. Just give it to ChatGPT, and it will work it out, and then you just check it, and you have a report on like 20 pages in like in minutes.
That you never read.
No. You take that report, add it to LLM, and
summarize it.
No, you give it to your boss, and your boss will say, "Oh my God, you need a pay rise."
You need to print it out because it's harder than to. No, but I think we're lacking extremely amount of understanding in LLMs today. We are missing out of kind of whole of Africa, a big part of Middle East, big part of India, big part of Asia. Asia is getting there, but there's so many culture stuff and knowledge that we are really lacking in LLMs today. I had a discussion with my nephew this summer regarding how much water he should drink every day. And he said like, well, ChatGPT told me he should drink 3 liters of water a day. Okay, so could you ask ChatGPT to tell you how much water you should drink based on Swedish sources, and then European sources,
Right.
and then African sources? And they had none source from Africa. They had one source from Africa, and that said if you're playing football, it's too little to drink 2 deciliters of water for an hour. So but there is knowledge, and there's so much knowledge around the globe that we don't have in the LLMs, and I think we are forgetting about that.
And I guess you think that there should be more effort to kind of like amalgamate all that information, so it's more kind of representative, or not.
I think we are getting uniformed to think that Christianity is the only real religion that there is, and we are forgetting about important knowledge.
So you miss out on much more diversity of knowledge and have much a more tunnel kind of like vision when it comes to like
at the moment. Hopefully I'll
ideology.
be wrong in 2 months, but we saw how was it Apple who had tweaked race on image generation, so
It
everyone
was Google.
It was Google, yeah.
But they had a specific prompt not to generate white people.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in the training process, it was in the post-training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like always, we are missing so much information that we have with AI or without AI having hard time to get to the point of taking decision that is opinionated enough.
Yeah.
And AI, I think, will give us less opinions.
Less opinions, yeah.
I think AI is already removing quite a lot of something that I called friction.
Yeah.
So mundane things, there's going to be less of them. And for this, AI is a perfect use. LLMs. But for a regular human, I mean, let's think about like how many people actually ChatGPT would be useful at the work. Because majority of people don't work in an office, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you work with your hands.
Yeah.
You're a welder. You chop wood. I don't know, whatever. So right now we're only talking about people that sit in offices. Some of these jobs are gonna be lost, but these people that will not get that job will get the job somewhere else, where their human skills are gonna be valued a bit more. So I think right now we're already in the situation where we remove quite a lot of this friction, where that makes us be able to focus on things that is actually cool and interesting and novel.
Great. And yes, I'm going to pass over to the audience now, but time for a few questions. But just a round table again, kind of closing thoughts on what it's going to be like in the next few years, your crystal ball kind of like prediction, and yeah.
I think we will have tons of LLMs around us, and we will use it so much that we will forget how it was before. It will be like Bing and Yahoo that we don't use anymore with Google and stuff. So it will be very different how we handle our businesses online. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Michael?
Yeah, I think we've only seen the beginning of it. So it will be, it will be much more efficient. So I'm sure of it.
Great.
So and I don't know really. It's really hard to guess the future.
Yeah. Okay, and Carol?
So I think that right now, literally a couple of weeks or months ago, we started to realize that AGI is not gonna happen 2026. And right now we're in the middle of a war with electricity, because our machines that we run LLMs on are quite inefficient, especially in comparison to a human brain. For example, a graphics card can draw 400 watts, and it's not going to fit the LLM that you want, but your brain draws only 5, and it's better than the LLM that you would be able to fit on any graphics card. So right now we're seeing a shift towards focusing on energy storage solution, energy transportation. So it's good to invest in this sort of companies. I think in the future we're gonna see more chips specifically designed for LLM use locally, because I think, as with everything else, privacy is going to be main concern. I mean, for example, ChatGPT or OpenAI said that your chats could be used against you in court. So what you talk about. So I think we're going to see quite a lot of normalization of this technology, and also transition to on-device local inference, and a bunch of investments into energy infrastructure. That's what I see.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, I guess we will just have to wait and see, and we'll come back maybe in another year for a panel discussion, see who was right. So thank you, and I want to now look to the audience, and I know who's first. Okay. So close to the lab.
Yeah. Okay. I have two questions. One is that when you mentioned that we'll be working, when you mentioned that we are working with robots, or let's say LLMs, most of the time. For example, I am a manager and I'm in a company, and I'm used to working with humans. But then this LLMs come, and I'm used to working with them. So there will be an effect. I will be used to working with machines. How will I deal with my relationships with my other human things that we need to live, right? I'll be expecting a response from everybody as a machine does. Perfect, right? While a human's response is never a perfect thing. It's always up and down. So doesn't that gonna affect the human psychology more? You know, there is this feeling that I start understanding, I start interpreting everyone as a machine. Like, you know, you get into that habit of being perfect. So how would we deal with that if that is a thing? And for example, I'm a manager and I'm used to perfectionism now. How will I hire a person? How would that affect the hiring process? How would I evaluate that this person I should hire? On what basis? There is this confusion. I don't know. Maybe anyone can.
Isn't perfect boring?
Sorry?
Isn't that boring? Being
Yes,
perfect.
It is.
It's, I mean, that's...
You know, when
yeah.
I think it lacks creativity.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah.
When you are, this thing being perfect will make the life of a human more miserable, more difficult. As a human, if I am an employee, I am prone to make mistakes. I'm inclined towards that, right? And my manager understands that, okay, sometimes there can be, you know, something that I'm not learning very fast, or something I'm not doing very well. But the machine, which is giving the perfect response, my manager will be used to that.
No, I think
and I will suffer.
I think we are we are very forgiving to LLMs giving wrong answers until we get the right answer, and then we present the right answer. So we are very forgiving to LLMs compared to humans. So I think we are we need to remember that we are all humans, and that we making mistakes is based on maybe getting the wrong question from the beginning, or how you interpret the question.
Yeah, I think you give LLMs quite a bit of slack, because you just think that maybe next prompt is gonna work. But from a human, you would expect just the correct answer, right? The humans are also a little bit more honest. So if you don't know something, you're gonna say like, I don't know. But the LLM is not gonna do that. I mean, there's work currently ongoing on making it happen, but we'll see how well that's gonna go. But I think, but going back to your question, I think in the future, right now we're in a transition period, so it's difficult for us to understand this technology at this point. But we'll learn, give it a couple of years. We'll find out that there are a lot of use cases where we can use LLMs, where they're very useful. But there's going to be also quite a lot of even more use cases where humans going to be even more useful. I think we just need to give it some time and learn how to work with it.
We need to give it time, and we need to think on every aspect, round the clock, what aspect, what things is it going to bring up to us. For example, when I was in this hackathon a few months back, and there I met a lady. She was working with the nuclear energy. So she told me when the nuclear energy came, we never had the regulations at that time. We didn't know what is going to happen. But looking at the repercussions, then we made rules and the regulations came, you know. So then things start, getting smoother. So maybe with AI, we need regulations. Maybe we need more regulations that because of AI, a person should not lose job until and unless they are trained for a year on that system. Because of AI, people are losing, software engineers especially, they are losing their jobs. So maybe, there is a regulation that first train them on this, and then if they are not learning anything, then you can take them with their job.
But there was a new study from Harvard that literally came out 2 weeks ago, I think, and they showed that for 95% of companies that have tried to outsource work to LLMs,
They got them back.
they didn't really get anywhere. So when you're around on X, like it's actually kind of funny because programmers now make fun of it that, well, now everyone is calling me because they want this code to be fixed. I think there's quite a lot of confidence, especially in start companies like Meta, OpenAI, Anthropic, you name it, mainly because for LLM, mainly because they want to sell you the product. They're gonna tell you, oh, like you're gonna lose so much, like you're gonna be left behind, etc. But they say it to everyone, and now we're talking about this right now. People are overhyped. People are afraid that they're gonna lose their jobs, but it's just something that they have implanted in our heads. Is it really true though? Because I think the reality looks quite different. You have, for example, Jan LeCun, which is he's a chief researcher at Meta. He loves when he hears those claims that we're very close to AGI, etc. He says that we're not going to reach that with the current architecture of LLMs. So I wouldn't really be worried about all of the claims that people are making that try to sell you the product, because that's exactly what they're trying to do, just sell you the product.
That's satisfying. That's good to know. Thank you.
I have a quick comment first and then a question. This is weird. So the comment is what I've seen with creativity and AI is I started using Midjourney like 2 years ago. And I remember when I first started using it, people would get the tool and they would make stuff happen that the AI couldn't do, but they would learn little tricks and tweaks and things, and they would make things happen. Then you'd have all these little forums where you'd go, oh, that's how I do that, okay. And then as time went by, Midjourney, they implemented that kind of stuff. So Midjourney's great for graphics.
Yeah, parts
like
of it,
Midjourney.
yeah, I totally agree. I use it as well, of course.
And another example was, I don't know if anyone has seen this, but it seems like there was an AI that, I don't know how they did it, but these two girls used AI, writing code. So they had code, and the code made certain sounds, and they DJ'd with an AI writing code on the fly. I mean, you could see her typing and the other one singing, and these beats and sounds coming in, and it was like mind blown. Like, who would have ever thought of that? So for me, like with creativity and AI, is like, for the young people, we have no clue what they're going to think of with this tech. That's just my opinion, and I'm kind of excited for it. But my question is, it's regarding user bias. So that's like a big thing for me. So I as an example, I was using Copilot, and we were talking about something completely different. I think it was helping me with a resume or something. And I was like, I need to create this website like this. And I said, this would be a good idea. I really want something like this. And I was like, that's a great idea. You should do that. And I was like, Copilot, tone it down. I was like, are you sure that's a good idea? It'd be useful for me, but is that really something that's not on the market? This is currently what's on the market. So there is nothing that specifically does what you said. And I said, can you turn the user bias off? Like, you know, just don't be my yes man right now and give me some honest feedback. So it gave me some honest feedback. So like, I think speaking in terms of creativity, we need to turn that user bias off, don't we? We need to have, like what you said, an honest AI in a sense, because then we're going to have a lot of mediocre stuff if the AI is always saying, oh, that's a great idea. So then you spend 3 hours to do absolutely nothing or turn out mediocre crap. So I guess my question would be, where are we with that? Where are we with this hump that I see as a user bias, and even trying to prompt that user bias out isn't always a guarantee.
It's baby steps. We right now, at the current stage, we just got a small taste of what we can do. But we also ask a lot of questions in regards to, is it actually true what I'm reading? Is it actually novel? Is it actually factual information, etc.? And fundamentally, the way LLMs are being trained, we cannot guarantee this. So my guess is that will require an architectural shift, a new architecture essentially, not LLMs, but something else that is capable of being taught how to reason about the information and actually provide to your best knowledge and best understanding of a topic answer that will suffice. But right now, OpenAI literally last week has released a paper about hallucinations that they claim they know where they come from, and they have confirmed that it's a fundamental architectural flaw. So we'll have to shift away from it to something new.
So ways down.
Yeah.
I've recently seen that in ChatGPT, that it has dropped being biased a bit. Not very biased, because I was myself searching on a new thing, and then it depends on your prompt. The prompt engineering term, it depends on your prompt. That when you said to it that, is this the idea that is already in market, then it would say, oh, this is not the idea that is in the market, and you give me examples which people are working on it. Then it gave me, you know, all those things, all those people who were working on it, and there was quite a lot of people who were. First it said to me that no one is working on this idea, and then there were a lot of people. So I think that also depends how your prompt is, how you guide it. It is guided, right? It should be guided. It is just like a child which you are guiding. And
Well, it just predicts the next token.
sorry?
Yeah.
It just predicts the next token
Exactly.
into something that sounds reasonable. This is why it hallucinates as well. Just like a student on an exam. I mean, you would much rather want to write something that's going to maximize your points, right? I mean, even if you don't know anything, maybe if I'm going to sound like I know, but maybe I have some difficulties expressing it, I'm going to get some extra point. And that's exactly how today's LLMs are trained.
Yeah.
This is why they hallucinate.
Yes, yes, true. Oh, and that means that we are in safe environment right now. We will not lose jobs because of LLMs.
Well, I mean, the entire world is around, it's for humans.
Yeah,
Like,
but these days, you see, there is a lot of obvious loss. Why is that then?
A lot of what?
Yeah, arbetslos.
Work loss.
Arbetslöshet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I forgot the word in English.
I think they're just overlapping factors that we perceive as being AI influenced. That's what I think. It might not be true, but that's what I think.
Yeah. Or is it the capabilities? Our employees' capabilities?
I think it's overconfidence on the employer side, actually. That yes, we can solve it with AI.
With AI.
Yeah.
True. I recently lost a project because of AI, so never mind.
Great. Thanks for the question. And does anybody else have a question they'd like to ask our panel? Okay. Well, in that case, that is the end of our panel discussion. So I just want to say a big thanks to our panel and our audience and the online audience. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have all enjoyed it as much as we have all enjoyed it. So big round of applause for our panel and for yourselves.
Thank you.
Thanks a ton.